Like a cholo. Side to side. Elbows up.
Side to side. Mm.
Y ya parezco cholazo. Ay, ay.
From Chuco. El Chuco ese.
Dale, mija.
¿No?
You have proved that you fight well. Now you can join us.
Keep cups. Wake up, check your phone. Ignore the alarm. You're still alone. Wake up, rewind the night. Who are you? But also kind of who am I? Wake up.
Everyone, welcome back to F and Adulting with Crystal and Lorena. And this is our Halloween episode, actually.
Talking about scary stories.
We're going to be talking about scary stories.
Ooh, yeah.
About hauntings, about today's episode. This is what? Our 19th episode, Crystal. 19.
Oh my God, that's a lot already.
That's
Well,
a
I was
lot.
17 when we were with Carmen.
Yeah, dude, that's a lot. So our 19th episode, and obviously we had to do a Halloween episode because of Halloween. And obviously by the look, you know, we're obviously dressed up.
You just painted.
I don't know. Face painted. Crystal's face painted. I dressed up as a homie. You know, I had to bring my, like my raza, my Chuco town essay. So I wanted to represent my homies.
Girl.
Yeah. So
That's just like,
I love it. I just love it. I think it looks, I don't
I
know.
love it.
There's something classy about it. I don't know. I like it.
it goes with you.
Like the pachucos, you know, like how they were all like steamed and like starchy pans. They were like super nice and ironed, and they were
Yep.
just like very classy, I think. We have a really beautiful culture, the Latinos.
I think so.
Yeah. So I wanted to represent, and Crystal over here, she did the whole slashing craziness. Oh my God. I don't know. Like I was thinking of doing something like that, but I don't know if I can do it. Is it hard?
It's super easy.
Hmm?
It was my first time doing it. Like, it doesn't look that
So how do
great.
you do it? I think I've seen it, and you put paper, right? With the latex?
Kleenex.
Mm.
You just put some latex and then you put Kleenex and then you rip the corners off and then you do 3 layers of that.
So it can get like
And
really deep in there.
yeah, and then you just let it dry and then cut it open and then paint it.
It
So
looks
I
pretty
wanted to do one
cool.
here. It looks all right.
We got a lot of candy. We got
Yeah.
bags and bags of chocolates. I got the mango. I have my Capri Sun here that I finished already. What's your favorite Halloween candy from when you were young, and you know how was your
Uh,
family tradition? What did you guys used to do?
Well, we used to always go trick or treating. There's this place by, well, a neighborhood by my grandma's house. We would
Mm-hmm.
all meet there. All the cousins would meet there, and we would all go together to trick or treat at the little neighborhood. It's like a couple of blocks away. We used to go there, and we would all like fucking be walking around asking for candies. And
Mm.
obviously, my favorite was always chocolate, any kind of chocolate. Hell
Have a
yeah,
favorite
everything.
one?
Not really. I always liked anything. Well, sneakers. I
Yeah,
fucking hate
Snickers.
saying that stupid word. I'm Mexican
You're
and my Mexican comes out, homie.
you're a
Oh,
sneakers. That's
la
it.
pura la
Ah,
sneakers.
pinche Snickers. All that nugget and
Yeah, I
cookie
like
and
those.
peanuts and crunchy and caramel.
And you?
Me. What did I like getting? You know what? I like going to like those rich houses, and they would give you that big, the actual size candy,
Yeah.
not like the small ones. So you would go.
Mhm.
Well, obviously, yeah, chocolates. You know, any type of
Chocolates are
chocolate like
good.
you. I hated getting like candy corn or like
Tootsie Rolls. I hated
Tootsie
those Tootsie
Rolls. Yeah,
Rolls.
I don't like Tootsie Rolls either.
Hey!
I was like,
Um,
oh, why are you giving me those?
or like when they would give you like erasers or like stupid shit like that. I hate it.
Yeah, you
I
know which
wanted
ones were
candy.
also the girls ones were also for me back then. I didn't like the ones that came like the little burgers. You
Oh
remember
yeah.
those? They're like gomitas, whatever.
Uh
Like
huh.
also now, but before I was like, these are disgusting, you know. I didn't want any of that.
You're all throwing them away.
You want
What
these?
else? There were some like peanut butter ones that were like crunchy.
Are you
I don't
talking
know.
about yeah, I think I know they still have sell those here.
I hated getting those like cherry ones, the strawberry ones that
Oh,
had
those
the
are
wrapper with strawberry.
disgusting.
Fucking
Yeah,
hated that.
I hate those still. You know
Um,
which ones are I hate it and are really good to me now? I don't know if
mm.
you remember the black and orange wrappers.
Oh, they were just
No,
black. I
yeah, it's a
hated
black one or
those.
orange. I hated
Yeah,
those two, but now I love them. They're really good now.
it was so much fun back in the day. Now it
What would
seems
you
like
go
it's
through?
just changed so much, you know? I guess because we don't have children. I don't know, you know?
Hmm,
It's not the
I don't
same
know.
anymore.
Honestly, it's not the same. Like back
Well,
then,
mm,
everybody was out giving candies, like, and now there's, I guess, like a lot of people that don't want to give candies, so you have to walk more, and there's a
that's
lot of houses that
true.
don't even
It's
want to open, and so it's not just having kids. I think it's just, I don't know.
society changed. We're different
No,
now.
we're not. They are. Ay,
I
ay.
know.
I still want to walk
Um,
around and get candy.
let's go ahead and start.
With the first,
I'll
huh?
tell you the first one. It's not like super creepy, but it is kind of creepy. It's not like paranormal activity shit, but it's kind of like psycho kind of shit, you know? So the little thing that goes along with it is this one. And what it says, they say his disorder makes him charming, makes it easy for him to fake normalcy. A little picture of two brothers that look really weird.
They look like dolls.
Yeah, it looks like dolls. I don't know. The name of the story says, I hate it when my brother Charlie has to go away. And it's by Horror in Pure Form. I guess that's where it's from. I'll search it. I'll link it down below. So the story goes, I hate it when my brother Charlie has to go away. My parents constantly try to explain to me how sick he is, that I'm lucky for having a brain where all the chemicals flow properly to the destinations like undammed rivers. When I complain about how bored I am without a little brother to play with, they try to make me feel bad by pointing out that his boredom likely far surpasses mine, considering he's confined to a dark room in an institution. I always beg for them to give him one last chance. Of course, they did it at first. Charlie has been back home several times, each shorter in duration than the last. Every time, without fail, it all starts again. The neighborhood cats with gutted out eyes showing up in his toy chest. My dad's razors found dropped on the baby slide in the park across the street. That's creepy. Mom's vitamins replaced by bits of dishwasher tablets. My parents are hesitant now, using last chances sparingly. They say his disorder makes him charming, makes it easy for him to fake normalcy, and to trick the doctors who care for him into thinking he is ready for rehabilitation. That I will just have to put up with my boredom if it means staying safe from him. I hate it when Charlie has to go away. It makes me have to pretend to be good until he's back. So it turns out it's actually
Oh,
him. Fuck,
yeah, it is that little
that's
boy.
creepy.
That
When
is
I read it,
creepy.
I was like,
You're like, oh
oh,
shit.
fucking
They
little
have the
shit.
wrong kid.
They have the wrong kid. That's
Yeah,
creepy.
fuck that. Imagine having, that's weird.
That was a cool ending. It was just like,
Like, oh shit, it's you.
motherfucker, it's
Oh shit.
you, dude. I was
See,
like, fuck. He's all playing everybody and shit.
he is. Do another one and then.
Okay. This one's This New Old House by Bad Out of Hell 821. I don't know. We bought an old house, my boyfriend and I. He's in charge of a new construction, converting the kitchen in the master bedroom, for instance, while I'm on wallpaper removal duty. The previous owner prepared every wall and ceiling. Removing it is brutal, but oddly it's satisfying. The best feeling is getting a long peel, similarly to your skin when you're peeling from a sunburn. I don't know about you, but I kind of make it a game of peeling on the hunt for the longest piece before it rips. Under the corner section of paper in every room is a person's name and a date. Curiosity got the best of me one night when I Googled one of the names and discovered the person was actually missing, a missing person.
Shit.
The missing date matching the date under the wallpaper. The next day, I made a list of all the names and dates. Sure enough, each name was for a missing person with dates to match. We notified the police, who naturally sent out a crime scene team. I overheard one text say, "Yep, it's human." Human? What's human? Ma'am, where is the material you removed from the walls already? This isn't wallpaper you were removing.
What?
Ah! So, what do you think it
That's
was? Human?
gross.
You think it was
Well,
human
skin
skin?
or yeah?
It's like Hannibal
That's
kind of crab.
disgusting.
It's like
That's
a very.
scary.
That was scary.
That is creepy. That's gross. Imagine you've been
Yeah.
peeling it and having fun
It's
with
like
it.
and
Oh,
touching
look at this
it.
long one. It looks like a leg.
Oh, that's
It
disgusting.
is. That's
Oh,
gross.
um, I'll link it down below. All these stories, so if you guys want to go and read them, there's a lot more. I think I got a lot of them from that website, but I got from different websites. So let's hear one, like
Woo.
one
All
of
right.
yours, Crystal.
So this one is called the cell phone.
Ah, I don't
A
want to
month
use my
ago.
cell phone. I don't want to use my cell phone. I don't
Don't
want to
use it.
use my cell phone.
Nah, it's not. A couple of months ago, my friend's cousin, a single mother, bought a new cell phone. After a long day of work, she came home, placed her phone on the counter, and went and watched TV. Her son came to her and asked if he could play with her new phone. She told him not to call anyone or mess with the text messages, and he agreed. At around 11:20, she was drowsy, so she decided to tuck her son in and go to bed. She walked to his room and saw that he wasn't there. She then ran over to her room to find him sleeping on her bed with the phone in his hands. Relieved, she picked her phone up from his hand to inspect it. Browsing through it, she noticed only minor changes, such as a new background, banner,
Mhm.
etc. But then she opened up her saved pictures. She began deleting the pictures he had taken until only one new picture remained. When she first saw it, she was in disbelief. It was her son sleeping on her bed, but the picture was taken by someone else above him, and
What?
it showed the left half of an elderly woman's face. Ooh,
Oh my god, that is so
yeah.
creepy.
That's it. Like, fuck no.
How did it show
Like,
the half of the elderly woman?
I don't know. I don't know.
Like
It
through
just
maybe
said,
like a mirror?
I don't know. It just says like,
Ah,
imagine, dude, like it's only both of you living at the house, and you see this picture. Somebody obviously took a picture of your son sleeping, but who else would have taken it?
that's creepy.
That is creepy. What's that?
That was a good one.
Yeah. So this one's called The Rocking Horse. One night when I was maybe 10 or 12, I had trouble falling asleep. My bedroom was the entire top floor of the house, with my bed and such being on the left side and storage closets, and a play area being on the right. I was lying in bed when I heard a noise from the other side of the room, and I see a rocking horse begin to rock. It was sitting just outside one of the storage closet doors. It proceeded to rock its way halfway across the room and
No.
stopped dead under the ceiling light. At this point, I was freaked out and just buried my head under my blankets and never picked out until the morning. It was all confirmed to not be a dream, as the rocking horse was still in the middle of my room when I woke up. Furthermore, I got a stern reprimand from my parents for being up out of my bed playing with my toys well past my bedtime. Their bedroom was directly below the storage closet play area, and I had heard the creaking of the rocking horse shuffling across the room.
Mm.
Ooh. So obviously that rocking horse was moving around his room, dude. Fuck that.
And then they fucking blamed it on him and shit.
Yeah, that he was up staying all like
He's like, no, man, it was a fucking ghost and shit.
the ghost is moving like shit. Imagine like you're half asleep, dude, in the dark, and then you see the rocking horse just moving forward to your room, like, and then it stops at a ceiling light, like the lights beaming right at it.
Ah,
Oh,
it's
dude.
like, look at me. I'm a
Oh,
star.
no.
Look at me. Oh my god, Crystal. Fuck that shit. I would have fucking thrown that fucking thing.
That's why I never had like a rocking horse. I always heard like bad stories about them.
About rocking horses?
Movies and stories about rocking wooden
Like a
horses.
rocking chair?
Also, yeah.
I want one
Sure.
actually.
You have
I want
one?
a rocking chair. No, I don't have one. I want one. I don't know. I actually would want one. But then it would suck to be looking at, being outside and having it fucking be rocking. But then
Imagine.
I would obviously reason it like right away by saying, "Oh, it's the wind," Eh, and it's not even windy.
It's
It's not even
not.
windy, but it's windy there.
It's facing you and shit.
It's like moving
Through the
towards me,
window.
like have you seen that
Oh.
video of the fucking? Have you seen the video of the umbrella that starts walking?
Mm-mm.
There's a fucking umbrella that's opened and it's like windy, right? So it starts moving, but you know how it has the little pointy things like that? The umbrella?
Yeah.
Well, there's the two of them on the floor, but it starts moving like this.
What? Why? Yeah, I
Look,
saw it. I see it.
it's like
What?
yes, it looks fucking creepy out. It looks like if it would have been windy, it would have just flown, but it
Yeah,
just
like
it goes like that, like if it's
it's
moving with your
walking.
feet. Yeah, it's
What the
creepy.
fuck?
So, did you ever hear about the death of Elisa Lam? So, Elisa Lam was last seen on January 31st, 2013, in the lobby of the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. She was vacationing through the West Coast, documenting the trip on her blog and checking in with her parents every day. On January 31st, those calls stopped. Lam had vanished. Soon the police were involved and her parents arrived to help with the search. They had nothing. That February, LAPD released elevator surveillance footage of Lam before her disappearance. The footage shows Lam behaving strangely in the elevator. Did you see that one? Appearing to talk with invisible people, peering around the corner of the
Yeah.
door, crouching in the corner and opening and closing the door. But what exactly is going on in the video raises more questions than answers. Theories range from psychotic episodes to demonic possession to unknown assailants just out of the camera's view. Around that time, hotel guests started reporting weird things happening with the Cecil Hotel water supply. As the shower was awful, said Sabina Bott, who spent 8 days there during the investigation. When you turn on the tap, the water was coming black first for 2 seconds and then it would go back to normal. The tap water tasted horrible. It had a very funny, sweaty, disgusting taste. Ugh.
Ugh.
It's a very strange taste. I can barely describe it. But for a week, they never complained. We never thought anything of it. She said we thought it was just the way it was here. The tank has a metal latch, can be opened, but authorities said access to the roof is secured with an alarm and a lock. On the morning of February 19, a hotel employee claimed to the roof and used the ladder to investigate the hotel's water storage tanks. That's where authorities found the decomposing naked body of Lam, whose personal items were found nearby. After an autopsy, her death was labeled accidental. ABC Los Angeles reported at the time about the strange circumstances in the hotel's past. The
Oh,
single room occupancy hotel has an unusual history. Night Stalker Richard Ramirez, who was found guilty of 14 slayings in the 1980s, lived on the 14th floor for several months in 1985. And international serial killer Jack Utterweger is suspected of murdering 3 prostitutes during the time he lived there in 1981. He killed himself in jail in 1984 and 1962. A female occupant jumped out of one of the hotel's windows, killing herself and a pedestrian on whom she landed. So a lot of little things have happened in that hotel. And the fucking weird thing about it is that for in order to like pick up this fucking tank thing is so heavy.
yeah, and there wasn't
And
even any way to get up there though either.
I don't even exactly. So I don't even know if I know there a lot of people have heard of this story, but it's
Yeah,
always been so strange to me, like how this happened. You know,
yeah. I remember when I saw that video like years ago. I saw the video and it was fucking creepy.
it is creepy because she's like acting weird and she's like doing these
She
weird
is
things, like, and then she keeps doing this,
looking at
like
the
it just
elevator.
looks weird.
Yeah,
But she like does
and
weird
then
shit
she
with her
is. You know what?
body. That fucking story is it creeps me out because there's like so many things that you're like, how the fuck would she have gotten in there? And then like her belongings are. So do you think someone like killed her and just
I
left
don't
her up
know.
there? Like
Well, it's hard to say because they don't see anybody on the video following her. It looks like somebody's following her, but they never see anybody. Does that make sense? Like saying,
yeah,
well, I don't know what she
like
was
it
doing
just
like that.
looks weird. It looks like her hands look long. I don't know.
Like that, all weird.
Stop.
Oh,
Let me do this one. This one's really creepy. Okay, it's about an exorcism. All right, and that's like, to me, that's the creepiest, scariest thing. You know, which was the scariest
yeah.
movie for you? Like that, you're like, I won't watch it again.
Oh, the unborn.
The Unborn.
Well, yeah,
Is that with the little kid?
yeah. It's
And
with the
he's
little
just
boy. About a girl who, I guess when she was born, she didn't know, but she should have had a brother, but the brother died at birth. So
oh,
she started getting this weird thing in her eye, and they're like, "Oh, only twins get that." And then she's like, "What? I'm a twin?"
I've seen it.
There's this little boy on the movie that creeps me out because he has a little brother, and she takes care of these kids, and she hears like in the monitor, like she hears I guess a little boy talking, and then she goes up there, and the little older boy, I think he's like what, like 9 maybe, he's going like that with a mirror, and he's showing the baby his reflection, and you know how they
Oh,
say,
you're not supposed to show it.
yeah, it's crazy. I don't know, it creeps me out, but I don't know, whatever.
Okay, so me, it's The Exorcist. Like I watched it too many times, and now it's like I can't even see it. I can't watch it because I'm scared. Because it scares me. She fucking scares me. You know.
Yeah,
But I used to watch it all the time. It was my favorite fucking movie when I was small. I used to watch it all the time and just sit there and watch it and watch it and watch all. I watched all of them. Like, you know,
yeah.
where she's older and everything. But now, like, I can't even see her. Like, she creeps me out. So anything
Creepy.
involving anything like that, it just creeps me out, you know?
Yeah,
So I have a story about that.
let's hear it.
Because I thought it was really creepy. So an exorcism in Indianapolis. Last year, the Indianapolis Star published a lengthy report on a family terrorized by 3 children allegedly possessed by demons. The account of Latoya Ammons and her family tells disturbing stories of children climbing up the walls, getting thrown across the room, and children threatening doctors in deep, unnatural voices. It would seem like something straight out of a movie, a work of fantasy, except all of these accounts were more or less corroborated with nearly 800 pages of official records obtained by Indianapolis Star and recounted in more than a dozen interviews with police, DCS personnel, psychologists, family members, and a Catholic priest. One of the more chilling sections of the report includes a segment about the possessed 9-year-old. According to Washington's original DCS report, an account corroborated by Walker, the nurse, the 9-year-old had a weird grin and walked backwards up the wall to the ceiling.
Oh my god. I
Then
think
he
that is the creepiest shit ever.
Then he flipped over Campbell, landing on his feet. He never let go of his grandmother's hand. Another segment of the piece reads: the 12-year-old would later tell mental health professionals that she sometimes felt as if she were being choked and held down, so she couldn't speak or move. She said she heard a voice say she'd never see her family again and wouldn't live another 20 minutes.
What?
Creepy.
That's creepy, dude. I think that is like
This is a
I
creepy.
get in this movie that I was telling you, the scariest one that I wouldn't watch again.
Mhm.
There's this part where like I don't know why it's so creepy for me to like for people to walk on their fours. You know what I mean? Like that is just the creepiest shit you could see, even especially even climbing like a fucking wall.
Dude, that's fucking creepy. Oh hell
Yes.
no. Hell no. That was
Hell
creepy.
no, dude. It
And
is
it's apparently
creepy.
based on true events and shit.
I
So
know, and I was actually gonna. I know you were saying that The Exorcist was your favorite movie, but she creeps you out. And I
uh-huh.
was looking into it, the real story here,
Uh-huh.
and it's actually about a little
Little
boy.
African boy, right? From Africa?
His name was Well, it's Roland Doe,
Mm.
and that's how the movie was inspired. But like, I'm gonna tell you the real story, if that's cool with you. I think I actually took notes on it.
Is it super creepy?
It's not that creepy, I don't think, but it's whatever. It started off with. Hold on. Okay, so The Exorcist actually began in the late 1940s, and it was in a suburban Washington D.C. And it was a family actually called. They named him the Hunkler.
Uh-huh.
If that was their last name, whatever. Well, their 13-year-old boy, his name was Ronald, and he was despondent over the. Oh yeah, he was sad over the loss of his aunt. I guess he had lost his aunt. And he was fucking sad, and she was actually a spiritualist who taught him many things, including how to use Ouija board, which I guess that's how it all started. In early 1949, shortly after Harriet's death, Ronald began to experience strange things. He heard scratching sounds coming from the floors and the walls of his room. Water dripped inexplicably from pipes and walls. The most troubling thing was that his mattress would suddenly move. So, like, yeah. So, like, disturbed, Ronald's family sought the help of what? Of every expert they knew. The Hunklers consulted doctors, psychiatrists, and their local Lutheran minister, but they were no help. The minister suggested that the family seek the assistance of
Jesuits.
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 So then, Father E. Albert Hughes, the local Catholic priest, asked his supervisor's permission to perform an exorcism on the boy in late February 1949. However, Hughes stopped the rite when Ronald broke off a piece of the spring from the mattress that he had been strapped down to and lashed the priest across the shoulders. So, a few days later, red scratches appeared on the boy. One of the scratches formed the word Lois, like
Um,
Lou Lewis, which
is that the
indicated he,
end?
huh?
Is that the end? No.
No, the aunt was Harriet or some shit like that.
Mm.
But I guess, well, the mom, Ronald's mom, thought that I guess they would have to go to St. Louis, where the Hunklers had relatives in order to find a way to save their son. Okay, so then they went to
Eh,
this thing's freezing. Uh-oh. Oh.
cállate, güey.
Chingao, dude, for real. Every time I start reading this shit.
It's 1:42. It's gonna be 3 right now.
At your house.
Yeah.
Okay, so a cousin of the family was attending St. Louis University at the time of Ronald's struggles. She put the Hunklers in touch with Father Walter H. Halloran and the Reverend William Bowden. After consulting with the university president, these two Jesuits, okay, agreed to perform an exorcism on the young Ronald with the help of several assistants. The men gathered at the residence on Roanoke Drive in early March 1949. There, the exorcists witnessed scratching on the boy's body and the mattress moving violently. These were the same types of things that had happened in Maryland when the first exorcism failed. That's crazy. I met,
That's creepy.
says, according to the reports, they noticed a pattern in Ronald's behavior. He was calm and normal during the day, but in the night, after settling in for bed, he would exhibit strange behavior, including screaming and wild outbursts. And it says clearly details that identify this. I don't know. Let's see. And it's freezing again. Sorry, butts. Sorry, butts.
I just want to get it over with.
For real? Well, I guess
That's creepy. Huh?
Oh, and it says that there's a picture of her here. How come I
No.
didn't see it? You wanna see it?
No.
Okay, it just says that no one would have ever known about the exorcism of Rolando, nor would it have become the true story of The Exorcist, if not for an article in the Washington Post, which reported in the late 1949, with few details. The priest had indeed performed an exorcism. The case wouldn't make headlines again for more than 2 decades. So I guess it was reported, but I guess somebody finally found it and made it into a movie. Isn't that creepy though? That it was actually a true story.
Nah. Fuck yeah.
Crazy.
That's the creepiest shit ever.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on.
Okay, so let's
To
move
less
on
creepy.
the next
Huh?
creepy story.
Less creepy story, Crystal.
Oh, less?
Less creepy. Or anything else other than that.
Okay. I know. And it's weird that I had picked that one. Like, I know, I don't know. I didn't think.
I'm scared. Okay. This one's more like disturbing because like it's disturbing. It's fucked up, you know? It's like a disturbing ass fucking story. It's not like creepy, but it is because
It's disturbing.
it's disturbing, you know? Like kind of like the first one that I read. But a little bit more fucked up, I think. Okay, so it's from ranker.com. Russian soldiers during World War II force a German man to watch as his wife is assaulted by the entire platoon.
What?
It is in the German memoir Sniper on the Eastern Front. It is March 1945, and the Germans have been pushed back by the Russians into Germany and Czechoslovakia. He was scouting some German village in the Sudetenland. A Russian platoon drove around, so he hid in a caved outbuilding. So this lone sniper had a front row seat to the horror to what was to follow. The platoon was plundering the village into until it ran into a German couple. Until this German couple. The Russians then tied up the husband and forced him to watch as the Russians, in order of ranking personnel, assaulted the wife. One by one, she was screaming in agony, fell in and out of consciousness, and was in so much pain. When the last Russian was finished with her, he shoved a flare gun in the woman's vagina and fired it. The woman screamed out the most animalistic, brutal, and haunting scream the German had ever heard. As the flare was slowly burning the woman's insides and blood flare, residue flames were rushing out of her body, and then she slumped over, perished. German reinforcements soon arrived and slayed slash wounded the platoon. The husband went into this to his house, grabbed an object. I recall it was a shovel, and hacked the remaining wounded Russians into the ground until they were all perished. Some of the Germans tried stopping him, but the lone sniper held them back. So
That's
he pretty much
crazy.
killed them. Like they killed him, but he was like, "Fuck you," because they killed his wife.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up, right? That's scary.
Why
Like in
would
a
they
whole
do
different
that?
fucking, whole
That's
different level.
crazy.
It's creepy, huh?
A flare gun?
Imagine, like your whole insides are burning.
That's fucking crazy.
That's creepy, right?
Imagine fucking watching shit like that. Fuck no.
And he was watching it.
Why?
Well, because he was hiding.
Hmm.
So, okay. This happened literally Friday night. My son is about 10 months old and absolutely hates sleep. He will sleep in his crib until about 3 to 4 a.m., then wake up screaming for a bottle, then spend the rest of the night in our bed. Friday night, he woke up screaming, and I got up and went to the kitchen to make him a bottle. I turned towards the nightlight in the kitchen so I could pour the water to the right level when I heard a woman humming in a soothing way behind me.
Are you serious?
It wasn't like a quick thing. It was like a full 10 seconds of hmm.
Oh my
Has it there.
god.
My son started screaming even harder as soon as the humming stopped. I dropped the bottle and booked it to our baby's room to check him in our room to make sure he wasn't. Oh, oh I saw something.
Dude, fuck.
I think. Oh, oh, I saw something.
Dude, fuck.
I think it was just my. I don't know. No,
That's creepy, dude. I saw you, dude.
I don't know if it's my eyelashes or what the fuck, but my son started
Dude.
screaming. It's because I heard something like the paper. All right, he was fine and he was dead. No, hold on.
Hold on.
I dropped a bottle and booked it to our baby's room to check him in our room to make sure it wasn't my wife. He was fine and she was dead ass asleep with the door still locked like I left it. I had to wake her up. He has no toys that make that humming sound I heard. I still have no idea what the fuck it was. The freakiest part was how hard he screamed when she stopped or when it stopped.
That's crazy.
Ah, that was crazy right now.
Dude,
Because I just
dude.
heard like that, like if it was a paper. But I don't know what the fuck. I don't know if it was my.
It obviously wasn't your eyelashes. You said.
I don't know.
Dude, that's so creepy.
Let's finish this.
Yeah, let's hurry up and finish it. This right?
Voy a persignar. Anyways, around a decade ago, I experienced. Well, this is weird. Hold on. Stop. This one's a weird one, but it's also like a weird, you know?
Like the one that you read right now about the poor lady.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like ghostly or anything, but it's like, what the fuck is going on, you know?
Creepy.
Around a decade ago, I experienced what can only be called an inner body hallucination. I s- it's I mean, it started with a numb feeling in my ankle, with a numb feeling in my ankle, then slowly spread up my leg over time. But when the feeling got to my knee, things got very weird. It felt like there was a direct link between my ankle and my neck to the point where if I moved one, the other moved automatically at the exact same time. The exact same amount. It was not possible for me to stop one from moving when I moved the other, and they would move at a precision that would take someone a very long time to be able to fake properly. So she wasn't faking it, you know?
Yeah.
Obviously, this started freaking me out hardcore, and luckily, I had already been taken to the hospital and was waiting in the waiting room while this was happening. But the feeling kept crawling up my body, now affecting both of my legs. Eventually, it reached my rib cage, and that's when things truly started to get freaky. It felt like the bones in my rib cage were slowly starting to come loose and float around my stomach. Creepy.
That's
Um,
crazy. Why?
in a clockwise manner that exactly matched my rhythm of my breathing. The rhythm of my breathing. Now this time I was completely hysterical as it truly felt like my bones were coming loose and I was convinced I was dying. It was not for almost 30 minutes after that when they took an x-ray of my chest and showed it to me that I began to understand that nothing was happening to me and that it was all in my head. The doctors at the hospital obviously assumed that I was on some kind of hallucinogen, and so I was tested for every drug they could think of, but I came back completely clean. They were completely mystified as to what could have caused it, as I had never had anything remotely similar happen to me in the past. The scariest part was that it felt so real. It felt no different than any other physical sensation in my body, and it dawned on me that I would not be able to trust my physical senses. There was no difference between the hallucinated physical sensations and any other sensations I had or have felt since. Over 10 years later now, I still do not know what causes it. From time to time, I think about it too much. I will still have ripples of the effect.
What happened now?
Siri! Scare me! I'm so scared.
You know. Oh
Oh god,
God.
I'm gonna turn on the light. Hold on. Fucking Siri, dude.
What
It's
did
because
she
I
say?
was so into this. Oh, hold on. I was so into the story, right? And then I just hear her like in my ear. So she's creeping.
I'm
She's
looking at you and I'm
scared.
like, what?
Oh my god. Ah.
You-
I'm not gonna be able to
You're
sleep right
good.
now.
We're good. We're good.
Dude, se me va a bajar el azúcar.
Pues mira, y por eso tienes ahí chocolatitos. Échate
Ay,
uno.
se me va. Ay, Dios mío.
You good?
Yeah, that was
All right.
hardcore though. I'm gonna drink some
I
water.
saw you, dude. You should have seen the look. You should when you're
I'll see it when I.
editing this. You're gonna be like,
And that's gonna
you're
scare
like
me
this, and then you're reading, and then all of a sudden, I was like, "What fool? What did she see? I thought you saw something." I was like, "Oh wait."
Oh
I
my
was like,
god,
gonna
dude.
hang up on you. I was like, a la verga se va a venir por el phone.
Dude, that's just gonna scare me once I edit it, because you're not gonna be able to hear Siri. So you'll just be like this, and then I'll be like,
Yeah, exactly, dude. I'm
because you
telling you.
can't hear Siri.
That's why
Like,
you kind of freaked me out a little bit. I was like, what? Hola, ahorita le cuelgo y se va a meter esa madre por aquí. Fuck that,
no,
latest.
cállate. No. Whew. This one, I didn't think it was gonna be this creepy. Yeah.
I didn't think so either and shit.
It's
Look
because
at
I
all
was
this.
so into the fucking story. Lo pinche, I just hear Siri like, you know. I mean now, but usually I see her, on the
Yeah.
screen. And since I was over here, but I heard her, and she fucking creeped me out.
All right, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Okay, so over 10 years later, now I still do not know what causes it. From time to time, I think about it too much. I will still have ripples of the effect occur. Specifically, it will feel as if a bone near my kidney or some other organ in that area is coming loose and revolving in a circle around the organ with each breath I take.
Mm.
I haven't really ever told this story to too many people, as I know most would just assume I'm fucking crazy.
Well, I mean,
Imagine
what could it have
feeling your
been?
body, huh?
What could it have been? Like she wasn't on drugs.
It's like
Imagine. Fuck no.
like your body, like your rib cage is like
Your
loose and shit.
insides are just
Oh hell
like
no, that's creepy, right?
that is creepy.
Mm.
I don't
Okay,
know, but
so
something a little bit less scary for you. This one's called Rib Shadow.
ooh,
I was
shadows.
babysitting. I was babysitting my niece once while I was staying at my brother's place, and they had the baby camera set up so I could see her on the little TV it came with. I was studying and started dozing off when I heard some whispering and realized it was coming from the monitor. I initially thought it was some feedback or something, but when I looked at the TV, there was a dark shadow near my niece's crib. I have never been more terrified in my life, but the shadow was clearly there where it had not been before. I ran to my niece's room and looked around and saw nothing, but I took her the hell out of there. I went back to the TV and the shadow was clearly gone. I told my brother what happened, and he pulled me aside and told me not to mention it to my sister in law because she'll freak out, but that he
Mm.
had seen the same thing several times now with the same whispering. They stayed in that house for about 4 more years, and when my niece was just learning to talk, she would tell her mom about her special friend. To this day, it scares the shit out of me. When they moved out, my brother told me my niece had become inconsolably sad because she would miss her friend. Her mom would tell her she could bring him along, but all she would say was that he couldn't leave the house. We have never to this day told her about the damn shadow, and she apparently never saw it. Mm.
That's creepy.
I know, dude. I would have freaked out if something was standing. If you hear like you're babysitting, you're alone, obviously.
Yeah.
You see a shadow of the crib, I would have left the child. I'd be like, peace
Like
out.
last time, remember you're like, fuck this shit.
Dude, I would have just left. Like, why do you want to put yourself in that kind of fucking
It's a baby, it
situation?
doesn't know any better.
It doesn't. It's talking to it, obviously, and it's their friend. Okay, so this is a story about apparently it came out in the news.
Hmm.
Uh, it's in today. I found it. A haunted Elsa doll just wouldn't let this Texas family go. The Mandonia family from Houston found out that Frozen is
Hmm.
truly inescapable, as Emily Mandonia wrote on Facebook that an Elsa doll she first gave her daughter in 2013 kept finding its way back home after they twice tried to throw the creepy toy in the garbage. To recap, those of you who have not followed our Elsa doll saga, Matt threw it away weeks ago, and then we found it inside a wooden bench. Manjonia wrote last week, okay, so we were weirded out and Tylee wrapped it in its own garbage bag and put that garbage bag inside another garbage bag filled with other garbage and put it in the bottom of a garbage can underneath a bunch of other bags of garbage and wheeled it to the curb, and it was collected on the garbage day. Great, right? We went out of town, forgot about it. Today I realized this, Mom, I saw the Elsa doll again in the backyard.
It's like, bitch, we told you we don't want you.
It's crazy. Well, I don't think this is a story that I wanted, but apparently this family had an Elsa doll, right? It was her daughter's, and she has a little necklace. Like there's a picture here. It's a little necklace, and you push it, and she would sing and talk in English.
Oh,
and
but it
everything.
would talk in Spanish.
Well, it started talking in Spanish, but there wasn't anything that you could switch it to Spanish. So it started talking in Spanish. And so they thought it was really creepy. It had been, I think, a couple of years, and they hadn't even changed the battery to it, and it was still working. So I think they decided to throw it away because it was creepy. Well, they threw it away the first time, and they ended up finding it in a little bench outside, I think. And they were like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So then that's when they it started talking in Spanish only, and it was like really creepy or whatever. So they did all that with the garbage things, and supposedly it was in the trash or whatever. And the little girl ended up finding it in the backyard, the doll. So then they eventually ended up mailing it to someone out of town. I don't know if it was a
like,
family
this is
member
your
or
problem
something.
now.
Yeah, they mailed it out, but on the way, like on their way to mail it out, like it was like talking, like the dog kept talking and talking and talking and talking and talking, and oh no, laughing. It was laughing,
Oh,
and it was
shut
because
up.
it had never done that before, and it was laughing on the way or whatever. And I guess the person who had got it, like now it's in front of a Jeep, and it's strapped in the front of the Jeep, and I mean it's never came back yet. But I thought that was pretty creepy, like a fucking doll
Laughing. That's
laughing
creepy.
at you.
I didn't read that. I had read it, but I didn't read the laughing part.
Yeah, well, I saw it here in this one right now.
That's creepy.
You know. So
He's
listen,
just probably laughing like, you're not gonna get rid of me, bitch.
I'll be back.
This is another story. I used to live in a 1-bedroom apartment with a den. In a den, we had a spare bed for visitors or whatever. One night, my boyfriend was super sick, so I went to sleep in that spare bed. In the middle of the night, I had what seemed to be sleep paralysis, where I couldn't move but was seemingly awake. In that state, I saw a dark figure walk into the room and just stand over me for a while. Like a dark figure was right over my face. The next day, I was very freaked out. I told my boyfriend, and he asked if I was joking. The same night, he saw a dark, shadowy figure in our bedroom, pacing in front of our bed.
Oh shit! That reminds me of mom. I never told you this story, but when we were little, we used to live in a mobile home. Like I don't know if it was in Socorro somewhere. And my dad used to work graveyard at the time. My mom says we were all asleep. She was sleeping, and she was laying down in bed. And she said it was completely dark. And well, not I don't know if it was dark, completely dark. Obviously not, because anyways. So she was laying down, and she says she kind of felt something, and she woke up. You know how you wake up and you're looking at a normal level, and that she looked at the time, and it was like early, like it was like 2-3 in the morning, and that she was like, wait, like Chachin doesn't get out until the morning because he worked graveyards. And she's like, Chachin, ¿qué estás haciendo aquí tan temprano? And like she like looked up or whatever, and it was like an Indian man, and that he was like with his hands like this, and he was looking at her sleeping, I guess, dude, like 'cause she was sleeping. And she said she freaked out, and she turned down the lights, and when she looked back, it was gone. But she said that that night, like she went to go check up on all of us, and we were all knocked out. But I think she even got so scared, dude, that we had actually my uncle and my aunt and my little cousin go move in with us because that shit fucking freaked her out. I was like, fuck.
Oh my
That shit
god, that
reminded
is
me of
creepy.
that. I was like, fuck. That is creepy, dude.
Well, remember we're gonna talk about that man, the man in the hat or whatever. We had talked about it. We're like, oh, we're gonna talk about that man in the hat thing where appears to people. And it's
Dude,
like,
is there like a Lincoln hat?
yeah,
Like a big tall hat? Like a
yeah, it
I
looks weird.
that's weird that you said that because my dad has seen it and
My sister
my
has seen it.
grandpa in my grandma's house, dude. Like two people have seen it.
My sister has seen it, and he's like tall.
Mm-hmm. My
That
dad says he will go.
he
That he
appears to
what?
people. He appears to people like a
Why?
bunch of people. I don't know, but there's a documentary or like a something. Like I think it's a documentary on the s- the guy in the hat or
Send
whatever.
it to me.
It's on Hulu
That's from my
or
dad.
it's on Amazon.
What is it called? The Man in the Hat?
Yeah, something like that. I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
But
cause
I started watching it, but I got too freaked out, so I didn't really watch it. But I was like, fuck that, because my sister was like, we were gonna talk about it, and I had told her about it, and my sister's like, I've seen him, and I
that's
was like,
crazy.
what? She was like, I
And that's
saw him one
when you
time
said it.
when he was like by the door.
And that's crazy that because when you said it, I obviously thought of my dad's story also, and they both happened at my grandma's house, and they say there's shit at my grandma's house, but apparently my dad has seen it. He said he's really tall,
Hmm.
and my uncle had seen him too, and they're both like a lot of people don't believe him because they're drunks, but my dad still says it like to this day. I saw a tall man in the hallway with a big hat, with a hat. He's like, and he was tall. He's all like, and I remember because I was walking out to the bathroom, and he, you know, when you're walking and you feel somebody bump into you like that,
Yeah, yeah,
and,
there.
and that he was walking to the bathroom and he felt that like that, and then that he was like, what the fuck? And he looked back, and it was a big tall man, and he was just looking at him. And
Ay, cállate la
he's all
boca.
like, pues eso dijo, dude. I'm just telling you a story. I was like, fuck, that's crazy. But I don't know.
Creepy.
And
That's creepy.
so are you gonna talk about that?
No,
Why
I was just talking
not?
about it. No, I don't have it. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
a. I was just thinking about it because of the guy that. So she said he said he slept with the light on all night, which explained why the next morning it was on. This happened about a year ago. We haven't talked about it since. We'd rather forget the entire night happened.
That's
So
crazy. And
that happened.
it all happened on the same day.
Yeah, it was the same night. It happened to her and she got freaked out. She told him the next day, and then he's like, what the fuck? That just happened to me that night too, where a man was just right there, like pacing back and
Wandering
forth,
around.
like in front
That's
of his
crazy.
bed.
Why do they do that when you're sleeping? Like,
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I'm just saying, like, everything happens, like, a lot of stuff happens when you're sleeping. Like,
Because you're the most vulnerable when you're sleeping.
don't
I don't
even
know.
say that. I don't even want to sleep all night.
I don't either. Let's stay up.
I'm gonna watch movies, happy movies, romantic
I'm gonna
movies.
go watch, yeah, a cartoon.
You wanna watch a
Um,
cartoon, buddy?
this one's good. Yes, we'll watch a cartoon. I lived in a haunted house for 8 months. Let me prepare this with saying I really don't believe in ghosts. There's always some more rational explanation to these kind of phenomenons, but sometimes that explanation can be easily found. As with this house, me and five guys rented it together. I woke up many times from hearing people rummaging around in different parts of the house, especially when I was home alone. light switches switching on and off, toilets flushing, doors banging, shit like that. Lots of sleep paralysis too.
Oh.
And I wasn't the only one noticing this shit. Worse though was that eerie sensation of waking up to sensing a child is creeping into your bed behind your back and tucking itself in.
Oh my god.
But there were no children living with us. These days, I'm thinking it must have been some sort of carbon monoxide poisoning or something like that was going on. I'm at a loss for rational explanations. Imagine it's like, oh,
Bad.
it's just poison
It's just
monoxide. I mean, just carbon monoxide.
I'm hallucinating. Maybe it's
Oh.
the asbestos in here. Okay, so this one's called The Shadow.
Another shadow.
Another shadow, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what it was called until much later. I was living in a house in Laguna Beach that had been there since 1920s. In its history, it had been a speak easy, a brothel, and a house for smuggling illegal immigrants. One day, my new wife and I were having an argument. I
Mhm.
can't recall what it was about. She walked down the block to get a cup of coffee and cool off, and I was alone in the house. The way the place was built was incredibly haphazard. Yeah.
Mhm.
There was a bedroom and living room on one side, then a bathroom with two entrances. On the other side of the bathroom was a hallway that had windows in one side and two bedrooms on the other. From my bedroom, I could look across the hall into the bathroom, then through the bathroom and down the other hall. I was standing at my dresser and I noticed movement out of the corner of my eye and looked
Like
down
me
there.
right now.
I know
And then.
there was, and honest to God, this gives me goosebumps just typing it. A 17 years later, a black figure. It was maybe 3 feet tall, and it was only vaguely humanoid. It looked like black stripes, like someone had scribbled a human shape, but the scribbles moved like the electricity erasing. That's the best way I can describe it. There was no sound that I could remember. I distinctly remember that I saw it. I wasn't afraid, just like what the fuck.
Mhm.
Then it noticed me looking at it. I can't say it turned around. It just focused on me, I guess. Then I was scared. I didn't move, didn't scream, nothing. I was just frozen because it just fucking came at me. Isn't that crazy? It rushed down the hall towards me. I have no idea what it intended, but as soon as it entered the bathroom, the door closest to me just slammed shut on it. I screamed. I yelled for my wife. She wasn't home. I went the fuck outside into the daylight and didn't go back in until she got home about 10 minutes later. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe I saw something supernatural, but I know I saw something. I don't know what it was. Imagine, like,
You probably
you're
had to go
looking at it.
pee.
Huh?
You probably had to go pee.
No, like it
Mhm.
only moved when he noticed the guy looking at him, and it ran towards him. And there's
That's
a
creepy.
bathroom obviously there, so the door closed. Boom! Like maybe he didn't want him to look at it. Imagine
Yeah.
something coming at you,
Oh hell no, that's creepy.
dude. I don't know. That shit gave me chills.
Used to live with a friend, and he was a Marine. Well, one day, while he was out doing his Marine shit for 2 weeks, I had the whole house to myself and I was playing Skyrim. I don't know what that is. And I felt the small hands starting to grip mine. That same night, I had a sleep paralysis episode. And when I opened my eyes, I saw a little girl on top of my chest shaking her hair in my face before she vanished.
What?
A month later, I had moved out and I was visiting my brother in Fort Worth or Fort Hood in Fort Hood, and my friends were playing with the Ouija board, and they told me a bunch of weird things happened. Anyways, after all that, his brother goes into the room that was mine, and I had left my old bed there since I got a new one, and he saw a little girl sleeping on it. From from what my friend told me, his brother closed the door and asked his mom who was the little girl. She confused, and they went back to check it out, and the room was empty. So there was a little girl there. I couldn't get
He
it
took
out
the
as
bed.
soon. Huh? They kept the bed.
Oh, so when he went in there to go look, the guy moved out, and his friend was still in there with living in the same place with his bed, right?
Yeah.
Fuck that. Oh, hell no.
Well, I guess he didn't know though. That's the thing. Okay, so I have two more. I'll do this one. I'll say we moved into a new place built around 1930s. The 1930 and sometime in the 70s had a fire. The place. My 3-year-old at the time started running around the house and playing hide and seek with himself. Kids weren't allowed in our room, but our room was on the first floor, and the closet was actually the underside of the stairs. He kept running in there and shouting, "Found you! Hide better!" We didn't think much of it. New house, kids have imaginary friends. Until that night when he asked if Sam could sleep in his room. He said she was lonely, but they're friends now, so she can sleep with him. She doesn't want to sleep in the closet anymore. No one else ever saw her, or and weird things rarely happen. We moved a year later, and except for the day after we moved, he asked if she can come too. He has never spoken to her again. So they moved, and I guess she had asked him, "Hey, can I go?
That's
Can I go
crazy.
too?"
Okay, so it's called The Following. My older sister has a ghost that followed her around for years. I lived with her once for about 3 months, and so much weird stuff happened in that time. It says all my sister would say to me when I mentioned it was that her ghost didn't like me being there. Things like going to bed with everything locked up and switched off, and waking up in the morning with the back door open, lights on, the kettle switched on. One night, my sister and I were getting ready to go out, and I asked to borrow her liquid foundation. I used it
Hmm.
and put it back where she kept her makeup. 10 minutes later, she's asking me for it, and it was nowhere to be seen. She accused me of taking it and made me buy her a new one, and refused to listen to my side of the story. About a year or so later, when she was packing to move to a new house, she found the makeup in a shoebox with some old letters. The shoebox was in a zipped up suitcase that was underneath her bed. But probably the most scared I ever felt was one afternoon when I was the only one in the house, which never happened, as four other people lived there.
Hmm.
I'd arrived home from work and headed straight to the bathroom. All the doors, windows, etc., were closed. I was standing in the bathroom and I started squeezing a pimple on my chin
Hmm.
when a female voice in the hall said, "Stop picking your zits." It was loud enough and sounded real enough, and at the time, I thought it was my sister. So I laughed, told her to fuck off, and after and asked what she was doing for dinner. No answer. I stuck my head out in the hall. No one there. I searched the house top to bottom, and there was no one home. I sat out in the front porch until someone else got home because I didn't want to be in there alone. That's it.
Mm. You think it was
I don't
probably
know.
like a mother ghost, like telling her daughter, like
Well, she
don't be
probably
picking your
didn't like.
nose. I mean, don't be
I
picking
think
your.
maybe like a friend or something. Like, well, it was her sister's ghost. I don't know. She didn't like her.
Stop picking your face. Oh,
Your shit. I don't know. It's weird.
that's disgusting. You're gonna leave marks on your
Look in
face.
the mirror.
Uh, Clean it. I don't like all that nasty shit in there that you leave there. This one's kind of creepy. It's not like ghostly creepy, but it's like another weird one, you know? I was about 10 and I had a huge fear of something being in my house to the point where I wouldn't go to the basement because it scared me. But I'm glad that I had that fear because one day during summer, I was trying to go to sleep and I heard a noise from above me and it freaked me out. I then noticed over the coming days that my room was really hot and I thought this was strange because we had just gotten a new air vents put in. My dad was checking them out and went to get some sort of tool when I saw the scariest image possible. There was a
Oh god.
skinny man looking at me and my dad from the vent in my ceiling.
Oh my god.
I froze and pretended not to notice him. And I went to get my dad. And me, in my 10-year-old mind, was instantly thinking, run with him out of the house. But I have two cats and we're scared to leave them. So I grabbed a paper towel and a pen and I wrote in my chicken scratch handwriting, there is a man in my vent. But he couldn't read it. He asked what it meant. And that's when he heard a thud and he looked at it again and must have put it together because he
Yeah.
grabbed me and called the police. When my mom got home, she got to see the man being dragged out of the house in cuffs. Even though he was caught, I still have somewhat and still had somewhat of a happy ending. The image of looking up and seeing his face and being so petrified I couldn't move or scream still haunts me.
That's
Imagine
creepy.
it's an actual
Dude.
person though. Like this is an actual
Yeah.
person there.
And why would they imagine they're looking at you like, and it had been there for a while, right? They even changed the vents and everything. Dude, that's creepy. And I have one right here, but that one's closed and I don't have a headache. Fuck no, dude.
I'd be like, Dad, there's someone on the vent.
Dude, I think that was the smartest thing to do because what if that shit would have left?
He would have, because how the hell did he get in there though? First of all. So he would have been like running or something. Like so that's good that they fucking caught him. This was scary.
No, that's pretty scary.
There were scary stories.
It was creepy.
They were creepy. All of them had something creepy. Even like the ones that I was like, oh, they're not like scary, but they're like, what the
They were
fuck, you know?
creepy. Yeah.
Like, how does that happen?
Oh no.
But yeah, it's like three, almost three here.
I
It's
know.
2:52. I need to take
Witching
all
hour.
this makeup off.
I know. I'm gonna take all this shit off right now because it's already peeling. My skin's peeling. Look, I cut myself and it's peeling.
Oh man, does that hurt?
No, it
No,
doesn't
just
because it's already drying.
ay ay.
Like,
You should have
told
done
me I
the
got bad vibes.
Joker.
Huh?
You should have done the Joker. Put a
No.
smile on that face. Let's put a smile on that face. But I had fun. I had fun and it scared the fuck out of me.
I
Twice. I
know.
got scared twice.
I,
I think because of the intensity of the stories and we're just so into it and
yeah, and then you see something and you're just like,
then I'm like over here like what the fuck? I saw
I
something. Like
know.
I
I was
felt
like,
something
oh shit.
moving or like a wrapper or like paper, you know? And
That
I
shit
was
was
like,
funny. The second one was funnier though, because you were just like,
it's because I heard it right here, you know, like I'm like this and like and it starts talking to me and I'm like I don't know. It was just I guess I was into the
that was
moment,
so
you know.
funny.
But I'm gonna be saying that and I'll be like, I am scared. It was creepy. I don't want to edit it.
Nah,
I
it'll
don't
be
want to edit it.
I
Essay.
hope you don't see anything in my
Oh,
room.
shut the fuck up, dude. Don't
Well,
start.
you're editing it. What? It's in my room.
Oh, but either
Remember, I have
way,
a
I'll be.
girlfriend in here somewhere. Remember
Cállate.
that picture I sent you? That we put it also. So
That was creepy. But
Yeah.
hey, the one chip challenge did fucking awesome, dude. Everybody was
What?
cracking up.
Dude, I know.
I still haven't posted everything, but I mean, I by the time that this one goes out, like it's already been it's gonna be posted, like the entire challenges. But you know how
Yeah.
I put the clip of the chubby bunny and then the one chip?
Yeah.
The one chip was like hilarious. Everybody was
It was-
laughing.
Dude, I was dying. I couldn't. I keep every time that somebody comments on it, you know how it comes out on your feed
Yeah.
again, and every time I have to see the video again, and I'm
Me
like,
too.
I was really, dude. I watch their videos like that every time I'll watch it, and then like somebody comments on it or something, and then it'll come out, and I watch the whole thing again.
That's how I am. I was like, I watch all our videos like multiple times.
Yeah,
I'm just like watching them and laughing, you know,
that's what
I'm
I
like-
do too. I'm all laughing, like,
just laughing at our stupid, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
The chubby bunny one was hilarious.
I know.
I posted it on TikTok and they took it off because it was
Why?
like a hazard or some shit like on TikTok. And I was like, really? We're
What?
adults.
We're
You're
exactly.
choking.
And we did
And I'm
say
looking at it. I'm like, we are technically choking.
dude,
like
for
there's
real.
a
I don't know if you
point.
saw me, and then I was like, I can, and then I'm like, okay. I kept stuffing it.
When I went like that, like there's a point where I just like there's a slight moment where you can actually like choke on that shit, you know, if you're
Yeah.
not careful. Cause you feel it, you're like, fuck this.
I'm telling you, on the fifth one is when I was going like that with my hand. It's because I was choking. I was gonna choke, and then I was like, "Oh, okay, there it is." And then I just kept shoving two more after that. I was like, "Fuck, come on, fuck!" I'm like,
You know what made me crack up so much was like another one. You go like that, like when I'm like
5 more.
fuck, I can't do it anymore. And I grab another one, you're like, another one, buddy? Or something like that. And I was, oh my God, that cracked me up so much. Because you're like, whoa, another one.
I was like, Lorena.
Yes, I was laughing. I was like,
You should have
damn,
gotten the little ones too and just.
fuck. I was cracking up.
I was laughing more also when I was like, and you wanted 2 bags.
Hey, babe, can you get me another bag? Because I know this is not going to be enough. I don't know what goes in my mind sometimes. I'm like,
Dude,
I said
know,
that. I know I said that. And I
That's
was like, I
funny.
don't know what made me think that I would need another fucking bag. Like it's
I don't know.
stupid. Like, hey, babe, give me another bag. You
And
know?
the little ones, remember?
And the little ones, because you never know. I need to get it in between there.
In there just in case. I think those big ones weren't enough. That-
To be alive, start a podcast, become a DJ, try and fill the void inside. I'd be lying if I didn't say that sounds nice. Wake up, check your phone, but the battery's died.